Hey, ballerina, how you doing, pal? Hey, nomad, Anthony. Hey, Joe, what do you know? Hey, Cheyenne, Chevy to the levee. Hey, Trash Hunter, back and better than ever. Hey, Eli. Why we have this interruption? Hey, Bobby. While we have this interruption, let's take a moment to thank the sponsor of tonight's live, Fitz Dark Irish. If you see Dark Irish around, give him a thanks. Hey, Richard Handsome. I'm going to say that all the time now. I mean, I don't know what your avatar is. I don't even know if it's a picture. But whatever. From now on, you're Richard Handsome. Hey, Gilbert. Hey, Vanetta. Hey, David Frazier. Are you at 10,000 yet? Did we get you 15 new followers? How do we not have David Frazier at 15 new followers yet? 10,000. How can that be? It's a travesty. I am back and better than ever, Fitzy. What are you doing? Only 3 listen to me. God damn it. I am very your mother and I are very disappointed in all of you. Now, it could be, Fitz, that a lot of them already follow you. That would be my guess. But David Frazier, it just needs 12 more followers to get to 10,000. Let's see if we can't get him to 10,000 before this is over. What was the last thing you guys heard before I cut out? Does anybody remember? Did we hear about the Iranians expanding the production of drones and missiles? Thanks, Laurel. Yeah, there's a lot of that, Lars, I think. Darlene, too, yeah. You did not... Okay, Vanetta's saying yes, that's where we lost you. Okay, so let's recap with the Iranians. The Iranians have expanded missile and drone production at the Modares military base and Kajir missile complex near Tehran. Iranian government sources confirm the expansions are in order to produce missiles and drones for sale to the Houthis, Hezbollah, and Russia. For the love of God. What a list to be on, huh? How the mighty have fallen. And so the Iranians, emboldened by our lack of action against Russia at this critical inflection point in history, feel like they can do as they please, and they are raking in the gold, baby. You know, last night was a 20 drone attack on Ukraine, 14 of which were shot down. 20 drones, 70% interception rate, still a solid, good interception rate. And the ones that got through were in areas where there isn't air defense, right? They were exploiting the Swiss cheese holes. Well, what does 20 drones cost? $5 million is what it cost. Last night's raid was $5 million in stolen African gold to the regime in Tehran. That's an awful lot of money, especially when you spent $250 million on Monday in missiles. According to Forbes, right, Monday's missile attack cost the Russians between $200 and $250 million. So it's not a thing that you can keep doing. It's just not. But in the meantime, the Iranians are getting rich, so rich that they were happy to fund this war with Israel. Now, look, there is a lot of talk about that stupid missile that impacted on the hospital, the children's hospital, right? The Russians are saying it wasn't theirs. The Russians are saying it was theirs, but it was shot down. The Russians are saying it was the Ukrainians. The Russians are saying it was Ukrainian air defense gone wrong. The Russians are saying it was Ukrainian false flag operation. The fact is that military analyst Bellingcat have confirmed that the missile was an a Russian KH-101. This is not a new missile. Before the war, before the full-scale invasion in 2022, Russia was producing approximately 56 of these a year. Since the full-scale invasion, they have increased production 8 times and are now producing 672 of these a year. That's a lot. The country of Georgia's accession process to the EU has been suspended following the Kremlin-backed anti-LGBTQ and foreign agents laws, which mirror Russian laws and are designed to create isolationist and systems of discrimination. Yeah. Leviticus 12. Somebody look up Leviticus 12. I'm curious as to what that is. Somebody's quoting the Bible. I don't recognize it off the top of my head, I have to tell you. Leviticus 12. That's not the abomination one, is it? Anyway, somebody look up Leviticus 12, would you? According to Russian authorities, yesterday they shot down 38 drones, which is an amazing coincidence, given that they sent 38 missiles into Ukraine. Bobby, Trump says 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians. It's unreal. So, I don't know if it was in response to Monday. I don't know that. But yesterday, following Monday's missile attack, the Ukrainians beat the shit out of Western Russia, that's for sure. Oil depot, massive fire in the Volgograd region, hits in Belgorod, Rostov, Belgorod. According to the governor, 4 citizens of Belgorod were unalived in multiple settlements along the border. In Kursk, explosions were heard. Rostov, 2 transformers were set ablaze, cutting power to about 20,000 residents and a military base. John Kirby asserts that no policy change for U.S. weapons is forthcoming. So despite all the pressure of the 75th NATO meeting and this critical anniversary, or this pivotal anniversary, the Biden administration seems determined to remain weak in the face of evil. We will not allow the use of these weapons on Russian soil. Okay, and that's it for me from the headlines. Everything I saw today that I thought was important. A lot more is going on. But at this juncture, just before we get into Q&A, let me take a moment and thank our sponsor of tonight's live, Fitz. Thank you, Dark Irish. Appreciate you. Let me thank the moderator team, best moderator team on the Tickety Talk. Cheyenne, Vanetta, PT, John Williams, Jay, and Travis. You guys rock it. Thanks to Lars, who has the Discord server, Nightshade, who runs the Peters Peeps group, and Vanetta, who's got the Google Doc share. So thank you all. Particularly a big thank you to all the Patreon supporters. Now, guys, if you are a Patreon supporter, I just posted the second video, or the third video in the election series That's over on Patreon. Take a look at that when you have a chance. And then for all the Patreon supporters, free members and paying members, if you are not a free member of my Patreon, please join as a free member so you can view these election 2024 videos that I'm doing. And you should note, if you are a Patreon member, free or otherwise, I have revamped the Patreon levels. And so you might want to take a look at those Patreon levels and see if you're in the right place for you. Is Kyiv still under fire? There hasn't been any attack this evening. There was an air raid siren earlier, but I did not hear any anti-air fire. Any thoughts on the chemical weapons article I sent today? Live froze up when I asked earlier. Gosh, Roy, I'm sorry. I didn't see a chemical weapons article from you today. I did see it. I know I had an email from you. I know I had a message from you. But I didn't have a chance to look at it. I'm sorry. So I'll have to take a look. Thank you, PH. What else is going on? Anything else going on? Questions. Russia is accusing Ukraine of using chemical weapons. Well, Russia accused Ukraine of bombing its own children's hospital. You know, where are the receipts? Russia never has any fucking receipts. In a world where everybody has a fucking smartphone in their pocket, where they post pictures of their fucking pasta salads, where everything is being recorded all the time, why does Russia's video of its accomplishments always have shocking cuts and cutaways and incomplete? It's bullshit, dude. What happened to the F-16s? Nothing happened to them, Maddie. It's just that there seems to be a concerted effort on the part of the powers that be to make everybody believe that the F-16s are going to be here any day now, despite the fact that the powers that be know that they're not going to be here for a long ass time. I don't know any other way to interpret what I'm seeing. Oh, sorry. Anthony's cheering on Keir Starmer there, who he says, it's good to see our UK Prime Minister step up for the British in support of Ukraine. I would like to hear something like those words out of my president's mouth, Anthony. I really would. Has Chernobyl took any hits? To the best of my knowledge, Chernobyl hasn't really taken any hits. However, a whole bunch of Russians died because of their work there. They didn't realize that they were inside the exclusion zone, and they began digging a trench. That's my understanding, is that those 50 Russians are all dead now. UK and France rebuffing conservatives in elections. Well, Roy, I mean, they did and they didn't. There's more far-right members being elected to the French Parliament in this round than ever, but they took third place. Can they build new power plants underground in Ukraine? They are rebuilding the power plants that they have. I'm unaware of any new construction. Support Ukraine is a must. Yes, it is. Hard to build anything while being targeted daily with strikes. It is. It's awfully hard. I'll tell you, these guys are incredible. That's what happens when you weren't even allowed to learn about an industrial accident seriously. France was a meh, not a loss. Thanks, common sense. Did you see the captured T-90, T-80, and BMP in same battle? I did not, Nightshade. I mean, that shit happens every day. You know, individual equipment losses are not, I mean, unless it's an expensive piece of equipment or there's something interesting about the way in the equipment was lost. There you go, Nightshade's posted it. Check it out on Nightshade's page. What about, did we find 12 more followers for David? Is that even there's 159 people here. All 159 people cannot be following David Frazier already. Hui. So did David Frazier, Roy. David, David Fraser, from Scotland. He's got the UA flag Tesla. PT says the handle is at David Fraser 16. Give that man a follow. David, you want to try to come live? It's been a while since I've failed that way. Here, I'll send you an invite. If you want to come live, you can come live. I'll even look. Until we crash, of course.
Hello.
Hey, are you there? We can barely hear you.
Okay, let me try and speak with a good Scottish voice. How you doing, folks?
It was me. I had my volume down. Never mind.
So for me,
so, dude, where are we at?
So, well, hey, 2.5 years of serving Ukraine, full-time volunteer, and Friday's just something very unusual, very different. The UA flag Tesla is going to be used for a wedding, my friend. So I will be wearing my kilt, I'll be wearing my Ukrainian shirt, obviously, and I will be presenting the gentleman who is brave enough to marry a Ukrainian girl with a claymore and a shield, which is an ancient tradition from the Highlands of Scotland, that we hand over a shield to the man and say, you are promising to protect and provide, here is a shield, and we hand him a sword and say, this is a marriage that is eternal. Should a man want to interfere with it, this guy has a sword.
Excellent. Where is that happening? Is that happening in Edinburgh?
It's happening in Scone. Scone Palace, home of the late Queen Mother, a very famous part of Scotland. It's a very beautiful part of Scotland, actually.
Nice. Excellent. Well, that'll be fun.
Yeah, it's something a bit different. Obviously, I spent 24 hours outside the Russian consulate in Edinburgh after the strikes in Kyiv. We were bugging the shit out of them, playing music, just stopping everybody in the street walking past, telling them you're walking past a terrorist state office of Russia. It shouldn't be open. We need it shut.
Damn right. Did you ever find out who paid for those barricades?
No, I think it's the council. I think the council have to protect them. The same with the police. You know, you see it on the police's face. They say, hey, we'd quite like not to be here, but they're protected under the Geneva Convention. That building is considered to be a part of Russia.
Yep, that is the law. That's why the only reasonable thing to do is expel them from the country.
Yep. Absolutely, and I do not understand why we're still having diplomatic relationships with somebody who is on their television every day saying nukers and causes harm in every way possible. It shouldn't be happening. Our politicians are the most fucked up we have ever had in my lifetime just now, and that's all around the globe. There are very few heroes, maybe a couple in Scandinavia.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's hard to deal with them.
Yeah.
I mean, just imagine you could have a choice between Biden and Trump. I mean, what a world.
God. People in Britain cannot believe that. We say, wait a minute. Has everyone left America? Is it not 350 million or something like that? Come on, how can these two? What's going on here? It's a joke, isn't it? Come on.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Hey, David, check your followers. Did you get to 10K?
Right,
Trash Hunter's reporting that you did.
okay, I think in order for me to do that, I have to come out of this live, though. Is that correct?
Oh, you don't have another phone or anything on you.
No, I don't.
Okay,
No.
never mind.
I'm actually
But Trash
sitting.
Hunter, it looks like our buddy Trash Hunter in Spain is saying that you hit 10 grand. So congratulations. I'm very happy that it could happen here tonight with us.
Excellent. Thank you so much, guys. That makes quite a difference in my abilities on TikTok. So there were quite a number of months where everything I did was getting blocked. Even tonight, I made a comment on your live that was taken off immediately, where
Really?
I suggested that it probably wasn't wise for a certain leader of an Asian country to be hugging another leader on the day that that other leader possibly had some response to do with some incident in Kyiv.
It really was a disappointment.
Yeah.
And I see what you mean. I see what you mean when you say that I've been wrong about India because I've been very I understand the economics of oil and I understand what it takes to keep the world economy moving. And so I never objected to India buying oil under the price cap because it meant the Russians weren't making money on it. And it meant that India had access to cheap oil to drive its economy forward. And that part of the equation has been part of pulling the world out of the concerns we had about a worldwide recession last year.
Yeah.
But to see him embrace Putin yesterday was really disturbing.
And quote unquote, every Indian considers Russia to be their brothers.
That's a quote from Modi, is it?
Yeah. And now I have to say, there's a lot of Indians I've spoke to in the UK, particularly in Scotland, who are very pro-Ukraine. There's even some who have married Ukrainians, so they obviously have a horse in the race.
Don't talk about their wives that way.
Yes. I'm actually at the wedding. I'm going to talk about Ukrainian girls being more scary than T-90 tanks. So we'll see how well that goes.
Seriously, that sword and claymore should be to protect him.
Yeah, exactly. They're wonderful, wonderful girls, but they are highly, highly strung. And an angry Ukrainian girl is a very, very scary thing indeed.
You are not wrong. Well, David, congratulations on 10,000. We've just got 10 minutes left.
Okay,
any final thoughts? Any final thoughts before you disconnect?
Yeah, hey, keep on keeping on. I speak to so many people who say they appreciate your updates. They appreciate the fact that you're in Kyiv, and they're getting accurate news, well researched. So continue what you're doing, sir. Look forward to eating and drinking with you in a couple of weeks' time.
As do I. Thanks, David, and congratulations on hitting 10,000 followers.
Thank you.
All right, guys, it's 10 to the top of the hour. Let me take a moment and let me thank our sponsor, Dark Irish Fitz. Again, I literally could not do this without you guys, and so I'm very grateful. Big thanks to the moderator team, Best on the Tickety Talk, Cheyenne, Vanetta, PT, John Williams, Jay, and Travis. Final thoughts from anybody? I love the idea of referring to Modi as Moldy. I think that's a place to start. I think with a first name like Narendra, we could do even better, though, Bobby. There's got to be something else. Fender Bender. I don't know. There's got to be something there. Lobo, what's your question? Thank you, Nicola. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, Birdie. Nice to see you over on YouTube. If you guys don't follow me on YouTube, I sure would appreciate it if you would. Why does it seem the bots are so consistent in their content all of a sudden? Oh, Lobo. Lobo, 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 Lobo. Lobo, Los Lobos. Ay, caramba. Ay, mi amiga. Okay. Lobo's question is, why does it seem like the bots are very consistent in their coverage? You know why? Because if you have people who are doing the job, you have to pay them. But if you have AI doing the job, you just have to pay the guy who has the computers and runs the AI. And I believe that what has happened is that we are watching a real-time evolution of the technology in front of our eyes. And this is kind of the first iteration of the AI-driven bots for custom cross-platform, cross-account publications, I think is what's going on. And as a matter of fact, it's funny that you asked that question, because if you are a Patreon subscriber, you can watch the video about bots that I did today. It's about 22 minutes, much more in-depth than we can do here on TikTok, and why you should care. You do not have to kick me even $5 a month. You can become a free Patreon member. And I encourage you to do that, please. And take a look at that video. Yeah, Lobo, check it out. It's free, baby. Get yourself a free Patreon account and then look me up. Peter, Pytor Alexievich. Okay, we got 6 minutes. Final thoughts from anybody? Questions, comments, points of observation, or personal need? I'm sorry about last night's live, guys. I fell asleep. I just could not keep my eyes open. I was exhausted. I didn't get a nap in yesterday. And you know, for me, these are midnight to 1 a.m. Not always at my freshest. Do we know if North Korean men are on the front line? The North Koreans are not headed to the front line, Anthony. The North Koreans are headed to the rear for construction projects, purportedly. And they are not expected to be there for another week. Thanks, Lobo. $99 bottles of beer on the wall. All right, well, if we're singing 99 bottles of beer on the wall, and I'm out of things to say, I'm going to call it a night. Thanks to everybody that makes it possible. And I mean, literally, I could not do this alone. It would not be possible. If you are not a member of the Patreon, free or otherwise, I strongly encourage you to check it out. I publish content over there that is not published here. You know, content that takes some time and thought to understand and talk about. And I encourage you to make yourself a free account and check out my Patreon. And then, if you can, I could definitely use some paying members. I could definitely, because I'm down. The Patreon is down again. It's down under $1,300 a month, which is my principal income. So if anybody out there can join the Patreon, the link is in the bio. Bamba Squeezer, you're meeting Biden on Friday. Well, well, well. Invited to the NATO summit, are you? Oh, hey, David Keller. Awesome, dude. And I'm making this commitment to David Keller and to all of you that the first thing I'm going to do when I get up every morning is download last night's live from TikTok and then post it to YouTube. So keep me honest. Keep me honest. Oh, Bobby, you're the best, man. Bobby is mentioning there that he upped his Patreon membership. So did Samsa. There were a couple people who did this week, Bobby. And that was one of the things that led me to revamp the membership levels. So I really appreciate it. Thanks, pal. Thank you, Dave. Oh, David, you were the one. Yes, you're absolutely right. I'm sorry. I apologize. You absolutely were the one. You, Samsa, and Bobby all upped your Patreons. That should bring me back over $1,400 a month, and that's okay to live on here. It's this month was tough. This month was definitely tough. If it weren't for Fitz paying the rent for me, it's a good thing you're not looking for sexual favors. How can they shadow ban you when you have people who subscribe? That I encourage you, the Jedi, to go take a look at the video on Patreon first, and then maybe message me or something, because it's not TikTok that I don't believe, anyway, based on the evidence that I have at hand, which is mostly circumstantial, I confess. But based on the evidence, I don't think it's TikTok. I think that myself and some other pro-Ukrainian voices, pro-democracy voices have been targeted by a down-voting algorithm. So these guys have these bot accounts that are controlled by an AI, and they tell the AI to watch these Ukrainian accounts. And when you post a video, they downvote it. They vote not interested on it. And you get a handful of those, and the algorithm stops working for you. So I believe that that's what they've been doing, or something like that. North Korea is sending workers to dig a tunnel to Russia. I don't know anything about that. Can you donate through crypto? I don't know, Lobo. I don't know that Patreon does that. I don't know the answer to that question. I did have, after the $61 billion aid package passed in April, I had basically the next 3 months of just nothing going anywhere, just spinning my wheels. That seems to have changed. That definitely seems to have changed. What does that mean, F1? I've seen that before. Is that slang for something, or shorthand for something? Good night, Martin. You don't trust money that you cannot see, hold, possess, look at, etc. Do you have a credit card? Someone said F1 helps. F1 helps. Oh, God, wow. It's an old joke. Good night, Lobo. Good night, Bobby. Good night, Lars. Good night, John Boy. Good night, Mary Ellen. Take care, everybody. I'll talk to you tomorrow.